Hey you, so on this video, buy, sell, avoid these coins. I'm going to be going over a whole range of coins that I've been involved with, that I've had mixed reviews, or would give the advice to buy, sell, avoid, and going to be my own personal experience that I've had with these coins. Questions I get from all of the coins I'm going to be mentioning. Hopefully I can get them all in. Constantly getting questions about all of these coins, so hopefully I put this all into one video. We can wrap it up there and give my thoughts and opinions on these. So before we get into this, I'd like to say, if you haven't done so already and you like what you hear/see, please do go ahead and subscribe. And also I'd like to encourage other content creators that have a different view than mine. I hope there is going to be a lot out there to do a video response back and let me know what you feel about some of these coins, whether they've worked for you or you just believe that they're going to be back in, fad or at some point. I've put out there before that just wrapping this up quick, that I believe the whole climate's different. The whole entire environment's different when it comes to collect the coins from Luna 1 to Luna 2. You can ask as many dealers as you want what they think, but as long as you're also asking them what they think about cryptos. And a lot of people frown upon that. And I think when you're overly emotional or passionate about anything, or whether you like it or dislike it, it could hinder your sight in a way that you ain't able to see how much of an obstacle it could be and a potential high risk. And I think that played a massive role. And even talking on cryptos, a lot of people that jumped out of the collector coins to get into cryptos also got blasted and wiped out when they went into the altcoins. So you have another market there where they're now looking back and saying never again. But I see more looking back at the silver collector coins and saying no chance in hell, and looking back at cryptos, even though they're limping around now, saying, when the time comes, they have more input into the cryptos, whereas a lot of cowboys and what's going on them, they're more than willing to come back into that arena, but not so much. So I'm basing this off of taking those other things into account, not just looking at a coin and saying, that's it, the collector's going to come running back at some point. There's a lot more distractions now and a lot more things, a lot more information, true or not, regarding silver. A lot of people have flipped sides. So, sentiment for stacking and precious metals, and especially collector coins, is at an all-time low. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on that, and hopefully you can put a bit more in there than just I believe it's going to come back and yada yada yada. So it'd be fantastic to hear everybody and anybody's response. So as mentioned, it's going to be me going over a whole lot of coins I've had questions about, coins I may feel some type of way about, and just give my thoughts and opinions on them. Buy, sell, or avoid. We're going to be going over this 2-ounce Kookaburra set that the Perth Mint released in this delicious case. Also, I do have some of these sets, in case and coins included, up for sale or trade. So if you're willing to pay the cost to be the boss and not going to be a time waster, you know who you are, please do contact me via Instagram or the email. So first off, I'm going to, as we're looking at kooks on this one, going to be going over the Kookaburras. I've had some questions in the past what I thought about them. I've been a heavy kook collector. As you can still hear, we've got a bit of noise going on in the background still. They're still doing their whole fiber optics thing. But yeah, I've been a heavy kook fan in the past, and where I currently stand now with the kooks is that I can confidently say I'm not going to be picking up any of the new 1-ounce kooks, and I'll be getting on to another bird from Perth in a moment. I am more than happy and would advise people to end it at the 2-ounce kooks. If you don't have the 2-ounce kooks, aim and look to get a complete set. Because in my eyes, Perth knew this is when the Kookaburra series ended. In my eyes, and I view that now. In 2009, when the 2 ounces ended, what you have with the 2-ounce sets is you have the prestige of the Kookaburra coins, the Kookaburra name, the Kookaburra designs, but they ended in 2009. You have the coins at pretty decent mintages. You'll have to go over each one to find what that is. There's a bit of sniffling in the background also, but I think personally for kook wise, this is where it's at for me. With a lot of the newer ones after 2009 and even pre-2009, it just went a little crazy with the designs. And I think, as mentioned before, a lot of interest started to dwindle. Everything I'm going to be mentioning this also is not going to apply to your average collector. Nothing's going to apply to them whatsoever. This is going to be from somebody that picked them up from somebody identical like myself. A cowboy, a flipper, a rogue and all. I can appreciate the designs. I am a collector still to a degree, but that strong wanting to flip to increase my main core foundation stack is always going to be in me. So once again, it's not going to apply to a collector. They're going to have totally different views and how they view and see these coins. This is how I see it from a collector, flipper, cowboy's point of view. So when it comes to the kooks, as mentioned, I won't be getting no more of the 1 ounces. I don't see no potential there. I think the designs are nice. There's been other ones I preferred over some of the other ones, but for investment potential and flippability, I just don't see it. This is where I see you can put your money, you can find them individually, you know, get in the hunt of acquiring them, and then see this appreciate because they don't make them no more, literally. Where it's going to take some time. As you can see, some of these coins have been out for damn near 30 plus years. Whether, you know, you're going to get that appreciation as they become more and more rare, who knows. But I think if you're talking kooks, this is where you want to be, the 2 ounce Kookaburra sets. So going on to a next coin, so definitely on the buy, sell, avoid area, I'd say buy the 2 ounce kooks. If you like the 1 ounce kooks, there's absolutely nothing wrong with buying them. Also, when I'm referring to these coins, you have to understand that there's a lot of these coins that you can purchase as BU rolls, i.e. a prime example is the Perth Mint BU rolls. Somebody's going to pick up some of these rolls, maybe 5, you know, maybe 10, maybe a complete silver roll of 20. It's a lot easier than, say, we're talking a 1 ounce proof silver Queen's Beast coin or a reverse proof silver American Silver Eagle. There's levels to picking up these coins, and when we're talking collector coins, even though it's medium to high premium, I prefer to gravitate towards the BU ones, because one, low entry point, and if it works out great in the short, medium or long term, you can get better returns. So my play is always going to be for the BU ones. You've seen me pick up boxes before where I was able to, but you know, your average Joe could aim to pick up 5 of these coins minimum, 3 of these coins minimum, and still get the benefits. So that's, you need to take into account also when you're picking them up in bulk. Largest 1 ounce proof silver coins I picked up was the Perth Mints ones, but of most recent times I would have said it was the silver Krugerrand coins, and there was an opportunity there in the short term also. So also take that into account. So now jumping on to the koalas from Perth Mint. Another coin I think is decent, but for me, I believe these are low premium coins. You know, if you're picking these coins up, you want to be able to get them at spot price, at the same price wherever you are regionally. You can buy an American Silver Eagle for, you can get a Britannia for. The benefit of picking up that coin could be because it has some numismatic collectability to it. But from what I've seen, and I've owned these coins, I'm speaking on first-hand experience, they are good for what they are, but I wouldn't advise paying a premium for them. A lot of them do come out low premium already. A lot of the earlier years had lower mintages, but as one of those coins also, Perth just got a little, you know, wishy-washy, didn't know what they was doing, didn't stick on a set mintage plan. And some of the earlier ones are more in demand, but then it's liquidating them and seeing if you can get that. It's a series that has no end. So it's just something where they're pumping them out. Some have unlimited mintage. I don't know what the lowest of the mintages is, but from what I've seen, secondary market demand isn't really there. For any coin I'm going to be mentioning when I'm saying secondary market demand, of course, you know, you're going to have collectors that are out there that may want to pick this up. But when you take into account how many in circulation, how many people have in hand, there isn't the demand where you're having a big, you know, buying spree and a big shipping or selling spree. You can have that coin up and it can take months to sell, or, you know, years. But, you know, whether somebody comes along, how long are you willing to wait? You know, a hot in-demand coin can literally disappear in under a week. That's a great sell right there. Then, you know, you have to take into account how long you're willing to wait for a coin to be able to move. So when we're talking koalas, I'd see them as low premium coins. I've never seen them as anything else. They come in all shapes and sizes also, from Perth, kilos, silver proofs and the likes. So for me, how I view the koalas, regardless if they have to bring a koala coin out today and it was a special anniversary, whatever, it's a low premium coin. You know, you're picking this coin up because a dealer's got a load of them in for under spot. You found them for the same price as American Eagle, and you think there could be some benefit. Sometimes it's not even the best choice to pick them because a shift in a more government foundation coin at the same price is a lot easier. You know, some dealers may see these, and even though it's the same price, it can sometimes be warning signs that there. So that's going to be the koalas. Freaking straight on is going to be the kangaroos. I have viewed them exactly what I said about the koalas. Low premium coins. I picked up a lot of the 5 ounce proof high relief koalas earlier on in my days, and I've done some videos on those. View those exactly the same. I remember when they came out, it was the rage, but I don't think that the koalas or the kangaroos have been able to take off massively They didn't have that hype rush. They came out in the when stacking was great. So, you know, if they was going to do it, they would have done it back then. I think they just dwindled under the spotlight of the Lunar series. And in a way, the Lunar series is entering the same territory, in my opinion. So once again, no matter how you're picking them up when we're talking the kangaroos, if you can get them at the same price, if you're in Australia, you know, it's a good coin to get. That could technically be your governmented coin or rival your standard kangaroo. So I know there's two different variants. The Royal Australia Mint and Perth Mint have done variants, but I view the both of them the same, really. You know, I know a lot of collectors like these coins and collect these coins, but when it comes to the flippers, they tend to have steered clear of them because they haven't done magic things. So next is going to be the Swans. We've also got a little image here because at time of release of this video, we do have the new Swan design out, so we take an image of that. So for those that haven't seen this is the new Perth Mint Swan design, stepping things up to come to a lot more newer coins. So you haven't seen this. What do I think about this design before I'm asked? I think it's a nice design. Oh, let me see, is this the third or the fourth one? I do not know, I haven't been paying attention. I believe this is the fourth design. I think it's good. You know, I think it's a fantastic addition to the Swan series. What I think about them, I think this is most definitely a collector series you want to be involved in. You know, I think the Swans knocked the Kooks off the podium for first spot in my eyes. With the mintage of 25k on the silver BU, the hype has died down a lot, so dealers ain't going to be really yanking these prices about. I think getting involved in these in the early days, you're going to see some rewards at a later date. You know, Kooks are dead, Swans are in. You know, I'd have no problem picking up a roll of Swans. Done it in the past. I've done the same for the Kooks, whereas I wouldn't do that with the Kooks now. I think there's a lot more promise with the Swans. Perth technically killed the Kooks when they brought the Swans out and made them at that mintage. Regardless of how you look at it, you know, it's supply and demand. It's a fraction of the mintage of the Kooks. So, you know, and you can still get them at decent prices now. They're not going for insane prices. So to pick up a roll, for instance, 20 coins, I think sitting on these, this is also another thing to take into account. If you can't flip them straight away with a slow burner, I think the Swans are good coins to sit on because you're not going to have too much to lose. They're not going to really tank. Whereas if you're holding a roll of the new Kooks, I wouldn't be expecting anything fantastic, you know, with such a high mintage. Dealers having them in abundance, you could run into some type of problems there. So I think the Swans are a fantastic pickup. Then we have the, I'm going to call them the Mythical Creature series. That's going to be the Dragon Phoenix, the Tiger, the Dragon Tiger. A bit of noise background still. I think that is a good series. That's another one I think is great. I believe that's a 50k mintage. But I think that's a good buy also from Perth. Another one that you could sit on with no issues because it's the Mythical Creatures. I think that's what aids in its favour. I think as time goes on, depending on how many they choose to put in that series, it's definitely one that can appreciate over time. I know some are doing better than others, but it's most definitely one that I would have no problem stacking if I was picking up BU rolls right now. Once again, both I've mentioned are BU. They come out in proof formats, but I'd steer clear of those. Anything in the proof format, gold or silver, I'd personally steer clear of. The best players are in the BU. Next is going to be the Ostrich from Perth Mint. I believe 50k also. I'm not a big fan of the Ostrich. You know, although it comes with the new 50k mintage, I've done videos in the past where I said you can't go wrong holding these coins. I just don't think the Ostrich has got a long play. And that's just my own personal thoughts and opinions. If you laid them all down now, I think I'm wheeling off the 50 to 25k mintage Perth Mint coins. I would pick the Swans easily over the Ostrich, and I would pick the Mythical Creature series over the Ostrich. But I do think there's a play with the Ostrich. It's just personally not something I like. Once again, I personally don't like the coin. I just don't think it's that appealing. And I'll say why, because next I would say you have the, is it the Bottleneck Dolphin? So the Dolphin. And I believe that's from Royal Australian Mint. So I feel another coin I didn't really pick up or get into, but I saw the potential. If you look at the Dolphin and the Ostrich, which one would you go for? That's the way I view it. And I picked the Dolphin over the Ostrich all day. So I'm going to pick the, I would say out from the new mintage wise, and not even all from Perth, but I believe Royal Australian Mint, same brother, sister, same type of quality. I'd go for the Swans, the Mythical Creatures and the Dolphins for the new releases. I'd have no issues picking up rolls of those and then seeing how it goes from there. You know, the Ostrich is just one I would avoid. You know, I think that was a private commission piece also, so it'd be very interesting to hear what other people's opinions on that are and what you think, whether you would. So after that, we have the Scottsdale Mint coins. There's a whole bunch of them. They come out with so many constantly, and the only thing I would say to that is avoid. You know, for me, anything Scottsdale Mint is good, but I've not seen, since I've been about stacking, I've not seen no good power plays. Even a little bump and a spike and a little a minute hype brush. You know, you had the Britannia rules, the waves. You had you did have the leopard little scandal, but then that goes to show how dangerous private mints can be. You know, it was an error, but they came out and said, well, you know, it was an error we intended. You'd never get that from basically Perth or Royal Mint or US Mint. And so that's a prime example. They can play the game because they're in. So personally, all of the Scottsdale Mint stuff, for me, for a flipper, even though they're BU, they have no interest to me. I think they've got a lovely roster, a whole load of coins, but none of them appeal to me. You know, I don't care if they're doing a commission piece, whatever it may be, for who, whether it's a John Wick or whatever it is. I'm not a big Scottsdale Mint fan. There's a couple of videos out there from people that picked up these coins in large quantities and came into a real rude awakening when it came to liquidating them, because some dealers and mints, and I believe the mint themselves, wasn't too interested in taking them back. Then we have the Germania Mint. I also see them at the same type of level as a Scottsdale Mint, although they do have somewhat of a rush they created through going through YouTube channels. Smart move on their end. But I think a lot of their coins are going to end up exactly where the Scottsdale are. They're priced high, and I think they tank fast because they just oversaturated at such early state. A lot of the times, I think it's real stupid blind greed from some of these producers. You know, they could lead you up the garden path, i.e., you know, if you take a look at some series that are going to be out for 12 years, and at least wait to the 5th year or the 6th year, get people committed, locked in before you then, you know, walk them off the cliff. So when I see a lot of these guys do it on the first release and can't contain themselves, and you see another release and another release, it's horrible signs from the mint and the producers, in my opinion. So I think a lot of their stuff is overpriced. I don't think it'll hold its value. From what I've seen, I don't believe the quality is there either. You know, the private mint, and they're not even attempting to capsulate their coins. I think they're just very interactive on some of these social platforms, but I don't think they're delivering the goods. So I believe none of their stuff's any good. My own personal thoughts and opinions, let me know yours, are exactly the same when it comes to the Comsco Mint. You know, doing these Lunar coins and their Ancient Warrior coins, identical. You know, they're just oversaturated the market, produced way too much, and didn't wait a heartbeat before they started really, you know, squeezing the blood out the stone when it came to a lot of the collector coins. And you don't want this. If you're going to highlight, as I say many times, how much or how limited a coin is, the last thing you want to do is bring it out in different variants. There's no point. You might as well just say it's an unlimited mint coin, and as many as we can produce, we will. And we can increase or give a mintage and then reach it as soon as possible. We'll just increase that mintage. Nobody wants to deal with those type of cowboys. So next up, we're going to have the Rwandan coins that I've clearly been in favour of in the past. So first of all, I would say you have the, let's see, we've got some in the background here. You have the wildlife coins. So, you know, you had these coins. I got involved with these coins. There wasn't the only wildlife coins out there, but I would say over time, these coins have fell off a cliff in terms of popularity. You know, at one point there was all the rage once again when they first came out. I believe they done something a little fruity also with the mint. I am up to date the past 2 years, not too hard to come across. But I think, you know, and I even got the first gold coin that they brought out in the series, that was the giraffe. But I think what happened here is that it just got outshone and people's interest just fell off. It was just one of those coins that a lot of people knew. Some of them are still very hard to acquire. Demand has dwindled somewhat. A lot of the crypto crowd, some of the boys that was in this. There was another wildlife series, I believe it was the Benin series. Also, there was a few wildlife series where you had different wildlife animals, you know. This was at the forefront at one point, but I think they've all just dwindled down. So if you're going to pick the best of the worst, it's easily going to be these. But I would say, you know, getting at your own. We have the plastic gate situation. All the coins still coming. These have been asked what the condition looks like. Take a look and see. I do believe they did change the plastic on a lot of the newer ones. So I'm not sure if you can see this, but mine all look how they look. But I won't be carrying on with this series. It is what it is. I've got a few of the collector boxes in them. So we'll have to see how well they go on. That's from the Maya Mint that produced this. Then you have the Rwandan Lunar series. Coins that I've also spoke about in the past that I'm in favour of and really like. See if we can get a couple of them out here. And when it comes to those, we have the situation that happened where I've mentioned in the past that I believe dealer greed played a negative role on these coins. You know, these coins are going to be going on for the next 12 years. It was something lunar, something different than the perf. Loved them, loved what they had to offer. I still do like them. I still will be collecting them. I've seen a lot of the errors corrected in terms of pricing. So just going to see whether, you know, we'll just drag along. But you had a coin series that came out and it had a lot of hype behind it. You know, it just came out just running. Hasn't died off. Once again, when you're talking lunars, it's definitely up there now. You know, you pick this as your favorite or perf, or let me know what your favorites are. But this got real sour taste in my mouth after the dealers. I have to say the dealers easily killed this series. You know, I had one dealer telling me he wouldn't adjust the prices, and then saying he had clients calling him and saying they'd pay whatever, and he said, you know, I'm going to adjust to demand. You know, that just, I've never dealt with that dealer again. When I do an update dealer video, you definitely won't be involved in it. But it really is what it is when it comes to something like this. But I am involved in these. I do think they've got a lot of potential. The next would be the nautical series from the same Maya Mint. I think there's a lot of promise there. You know, there was boat coins out prior to them, but I think those ones, once again, following off the hype of the Lunar series, were able to do well and even run to the forefront a lot of the nautical coins. So I think that's a lot of promise there also. So that's from the Maya Mint. So the wildlife, no. Rwandan, yes. Lunar coins, and the nautical, yes. Then we would have the Queen's Beast coins. If I look for some in the background, we'll just deal with what we've got here. Queen's Beasts, yes, for all the reasons that we all know. You know, it's a very popular coin series. I'd say when it comes to Queen's Beasts, BU have been the best performers in my eyes. Just worry about quality. It's always going to be about quality. Understand that the quality is not going to be top notch, but it doesn't put off a lot of people because it is what it is. You know, I believe some people may think that they have a perfectly spanking clean tube, but if they go over that tube with some magnification, they may be in for a rude awakening, and that's just something you need to be aware of. Some of the proof coins do better than others, but let me know your experience and what ones you believe those are. Next is going to be the Silver Krugerrands. I don't think they're a good player at all. I think they got extremely stupidly greedy with the mintage. Quality was shoddy. I think with the Silver Krugerrands, they was better off being what the Gold Krugerrands are. The low premium ones I'm referring to here. They was better off being a low premium silver coin, you know, and then building up a reputation with the dealers. Right now, worldwide, dealers globally know that the gold bullion Krugerrands are good low investment play. With the silver, they don't know what it is. Is it a high premium? And we're talking the, what was it, ultra premium or ultra BU, whatever they decided to call it. They don't know what to label it as because it's not a low premium. It's heading that way, but it didn't start off that way. And I think they're just dragging their feet of where they intend to take it. Krugerrands, when you're talking the Krugerrands, especially with the gold proof stuff, it can get very, to me, extremely overpriced. So I've been told there's a large aftermarket for them, or should I say buyer's market, not so much an aftermarket. I think a lot of their proof coins are grossly marked up, you know, and especially a lot of the most recent newer ones. They were the boys doing the 50-ounce gold coins, the special sets with a, you know, a springbuck and all these other fancy privies, but I've always thought they was bad players, and I think the silver's also a bad player, and until they bring them out as a standard silver low premium option, they're a no good play. A lot of people got plastered when they purchased the Silver Krugerrands when they first came out at the high prices. You know, dealers were backtracking and pulling back my order. So I think when you're talking Krugerrands, the only thing you should be looking at is the low premium gold options until that mint really gets their act together. They had a wildlife series that I believe they botched also. So let me know what's going on there with those, because I've seen a few dealers now have them up for sale. And I think the designs were stunning. They just got a little too crazy. And they do that. I don't think they're going to change no time soon. So I expect the same old, whatever they release. Just, you know, that Perth Mint Simpson type of mintage. Name one single, then, you know, a different in a blister card, then a different paired with another coin, and yada, 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 yada. So next we're going to get to a few mints again. East India Company, I think they do, I've got a lot of potential. They've got some great coins out. If it's their little Bengal tigers, they've got somewhat of a wildlife series also going on as we wrap this one up. But I think a lot of potential there. They just need to get a bit more hype going behind them and a lot more recognition. I think they'll definitely have something that's doing well. But you could easily pick some of these coins up and hold on to them and definitely see something coming out at a long term. Royal Mint and US Mint is where you want to have your money if it's a hit coin. You know, these coins from these mints perform fantastically. They're well pedigreed, well established mints. The problem is, I would say easily 98% of their stuff is junk. So you've just got to find the 2% at best, and you're going to see some big hits, you know, and that's just that. So, you know, you just got to swim through the sea of BS, swim through the sea, and they come with a host of problems also, especially with the Royal Mint now. Bad quality control. So, you know, but if you want money, if you want to put your money in the right place with a good pedigree mint, you're not getting no bigger than these mints here. Some mentions, the Marvel coins from Perth. I think they're good buys, just for what they are. Marvel's all the rage right now, so you definitely can't go wrong there. The Triangle Batista coin, I think is garbage. Libertads, I think is a good play. You know, they've got a massive audience. It's one of those coins, because they haven't changed their designs, it's not too much hype. They normally just bring out the same coin in a different size and some type of custom packaging. They do different designs and, you know, funky ones, but I understand you have to get them from the bank and only employees can get them, and they're very hard to come across. But I think they're a good play, you know, because of their exclusivity. You know, even though they're not changing up the designs a lot, they are a good play in the end of the day. So I have all libs, who knows, but, you know. Also, another mention is Birds of Paradise from Perth. Nice, but not for me also. Another low premium option in my opinion. Then you had the Dutch Lion somebody was inquiring about. I think that was just from what was it? It was a government, but I don't think it was the best play. Overpriced. I think the hype's died down, but let me know if you own any of these coins and you could liquidate them with ease and they're still commanding these insane premiums. Everything mentioned, once again, you can check up on. You're going to get maximum price on the secondary market. Is it real? Is it fast? You know, let me know how your opinion's been or your experience. It's going to differ from person to person. You know, I've mentioned before, there's coins that you can get in Europe that are damn near double the price in America from a lot of the big dealers, and that's another thing. Just because APMEX going to mention them out there selling it for a high price, it doesn't mean it's going for that price, you know, as many have pointed out. I recently had an experience with a dealer that was offering a large buyback, and when I offered to take him up on it, he got cold feet and started backtracking. So a lot of dealers can also just talk a lot of, you know, crud and just, you know, be time wasters also. But let me know your experience with all the coins that I've mentioned. It's gone on for long enough, and let me know whether you agree or disagree. If you're a content creator, let me know if you do a video response. It'd be fantastic to hear your thoughts and opinions. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. You know, as we try and get them all in. And this is the infamous 2008. As mentioned, if you're up for a trade or purchase off this set, please do contact. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, and I'll catch you guys in the rebound.